please give a huge labor welcome for the U.S. Secretary of Labor and a card-carrying union member, Marty Walsh.
Thank you very much, brothers and sisters, and thank you for that great introduction. And to you, President Martinez, thank you for your partnership and for all that you do. To the entire Executive Council, local union officers, retirees, the delegates from the United States and Canada. And I also want to give a shout out. How about we give a shout out to the workers here at the Hilton Resort World for all that they do. And as you can see behind me, I want to recognize my friends from Local 264, including the MBTA bus mechanics, Local 318, the railroad machinists, Local 1726, the airline workers out of Logan Airport. Throughout my time in the labor movement, yeah, let's give a round of applause for Boston. Throughout my entire time in the labor movement or in the state legislature, and when I was mayor of Boston, we stood shoulder to shoulder. We won some tough fights, and we will always stand, and I will always stand with working people of this great union. I have seen up close why our entire nation depends on each and every one of you. Your members kept us going through a once-in-a-century pandemic. In the skies, on the ground, in the factories, building critical equipment like ventilators that saved countless lives. You were there for the American people, and you were always there for us, keeping travelers safe and moving our essential goods all across this country, strengthening our national defense and supporting our military members, and building our future with skills and innovation. So I want to tell you today, President Biden, Vice President Harris, myself, and the entire administration have your back. When you're on... We have your back when you're on the job working, when you're fighting for your members' rights, when you're helping working people organize all across this country. We support you, we stand with you, and we believe in you. And those just aren't words. We're putting that partnership into action. I want you to all just to think back to January for a minute of 2021 and what President Biden inherited. Millions of Americans were out of work. The pandemic was out of control. People's lives were at risk every single day. The American Rescue Plan changed that. It got shots in arms, relief to workers and families, and it got direct payroll aid to critical transportation sectors that saved thousands of union jobs and kept our country moving. The economy opened up, and America got back to work in a big way. Since the president has taken office, we've added nearly 10 million jobs. The labor market is more than 100% fully recovered. Manufacturing jobs are more than fully recovered. Transportation jobs are more than fully recovered. The unemployment rate in the United States of America is 3.7%. That's incredible growth. Many economists didn't think that this was even possible. And what those numbers mean is not only more Americans are working, more workers have leverage to demand better wages, better benefits, better opportunity, and better contracts. The president said he would put the power back in the hands of working people, and that's exactly what he's done. The American Rescue Plan did something else as well. There was a provision in the bill called the Butch-Lewis Act. It didn't make a lot of news. It was something the president heard on the campaign trail from union members, including people in this room. Hundreds of multi-employer pension plans across our country were underfunded. Many of them were at risk of going bankrupt. Some already started to cut benefits. Can you imagine for a minute, anyone in this room or your members, working your whole life, doing everything right, taking care of your family, and when you're about to retire, your pension earnings suddenly get cut down and you're not getting what you earned? The president said that cannot happen in the United States of America. He made sure those pensions got funded and those benefits were protected. One of my roles as Secretary of Labor is to oversee that plan, and I can tell you, we are fully funding those pension plans through the year 2051, and no one, no party, no one can take that away. And I want to thank the machinists for your powerful advocacy in this issue. You fought, and you would not accept defeat. The President heard you, and millions of American workers thank you. By the way, there's something else I want you to think about. The American Rescue Plan passed with only Democratic votes. It got no support from the other side. And I think that's unfortunate, and I think that's a shame. But it tells you something. It tells you that leadership matters. It tells you who you vote for matters. The issues you talk about with your members matter. Their rights, their opportunities, and their children's future are at stake. And the President gets it. So he kept reaching across the aisle to deliver results for working people. And that's what he did with the bipartisan infrastructure law. We used to have, many of you guys would go down to Washington and ladies would go down to Washington, we had an infrastructure week and nothing came of it. It involved a lot of talking and a lot of promising. Now we have infrastructure decade, which involves lots of building and good union jobs for years to come. And here's something else the President made sure of. The materials, the machinery, the equipment for these investments are going to be made in America by American workers. In the President's first week in office, he signed orders directing every federal agency to buy American. We have included Made in America provisions in all of our legislation. Your members are going to make it. Your members are going to operate it. And American workers are going to keep reaping the benefits of America's success. Our domestic manufacturing boom is long overdue, but it's just getting started. In August, the President signed the CHIPS and Science Act. We're already seeing billions of dollars of new investments in manufacturing. These new plants will be built by union workers. They'll be operated by union workers, and they'll bring our supply chain home. And you're going to see lower prices for cars, computers, and appliances that American family depends on because we're making them right here in the United States of America. These are major achievements, and there's more to come. The Inflation Reduction Act is now law of the land. It's a historic step forward. It will not only keep gas and energy prices coming down, it will cut health care costs for millions of families. It will cut prescription drugs for prices for seniors. And it will reduce the deficit by taxing big corporations, not working people. And it's a win-win for the clean energy future for America by investing billions of dollars in more good jobs, good union jobs. As Labor Secretary, my goal is to make sure every job is a good job. So in the Department of Labor, we've been expanding our capacity to protect health and safety at work, to crack down on wage theft and discrimination and misclassification as workers as independent contractors, to invest in apprenticeships and union training, to fund programs for our veterans in rural America. In addition, we're reaching out to support our most vulnerable workers in our most vulnerable industries. They are disproportionately women, workers of color, and workers with disabilities and immigrants. I don't need to tell you in this room how important equity is in bringing the middle class opportunities to our workers. This union believes, as we believe, every single worker in America has the right to a fair wage. Every single worker has the right to dignity and safety on the job, and every single worker has the right to join a union if they want to join a union. Thank you, brothers. That's why this administration, the Biden-Harris administration, we're working across all government and private sector to take down barriers to worker organizing. We're making it clear it's the workers' choice, and the workers' choice only, to form a union. That's their right. The fact is, unions are good for our economy. I want to give you one example of that. The railroad negotiations last month. When that issue hit the news, many people learned something new. It's something everyone in this room knows already. The American economy rests on the back of the men and women who make our freight trains run. Our Our economy would have lost $2 billion a day, every day, if the railroad shut down. We couldn't let that happen. There was too much at stake. So we brought the parties who didn't have an agreement, and we know this already, into the Department of Labor a couple days before the deadline, actually a couple hours before the deadline. It took 20 straight hours of negotiation in our office to get it done. I want to thank President Martinez and this union for your leadership in winning a good deal for the railroad workers. I especially want to commend your President, Adi Matea of TCU. Adi, where are you? I want to thank you, Adi, for all the work you did in helping this whole negotiation go through. Without you, we wouldn't have been able to do it. I want to give a shout out to District 19 President Kyle Luce and Josh Hartford of the Rail Division, who also was extremely helpful to me and to us. So thank you very much. This has been a long process for your members, going back 2 years. But your union and your members stood strong. You made it clear that rail workers deserve a better deal than what they had. I want to thank you all for all that you've done to get this deal done in this fight. So it's not a mystery why so many workers are interested in joining a union right now than we've seen any time in 50 years in our country. Workers are looking for better opportunities. Unions have a track record of providing those opportunities. That's why at the Labor Department, we've set up a new website. It's on the website at the Labor Department. You wouldn't have saw this 3 or 4 years ago, I can guarantee you that. It's called Worker Organizing Resource Center. It showcases the benefits of unions and collective bargaining. And we are telling the world why unions are good for workers and good for the economy. But there's so much more work to be done. And this great union is leading that work. I want to thank you for standing with the JetBlue ramp workers in Boston across the country who are fighting for a union. I want to thank you for organizing in industries where many workers have not had the opportunity before. Architects, library workers, retail store, Apple store in Maryland. Earlier this year, we invited organizers into the White House. One of them was Jamie. She was one of the workers at the Baltimore Public Library organizing with IAM. It was great to meet Jamie and hear about her success. It was great to see the look on her face. I don't know if Jamie's here today, but it was great to see the look on her face when President Biden walked into the room unannounced. She was very emotional because this campaign means everything to her and her co-workers. And having personal support of the President of the United States is unprecedented. It's a new opportunity. And that's my message to the labor movement. This time is a time to listen to workers in every industry. It's a time to share the benefits of union membership. It's a time to grow. Together, we have the opportunity to write the next great chapter in the history of the labor movement. And when workers organize, our whole country moves forward. It means good wages and benefits that support working families. And it means more than that. Fundamentally, it's a respect for your work, respect for your rights, and for those who are respect for those and people in that industry. I want to tell you what that means to me. My parents came to this country in the 50s. My father came in 1956. My mother came in 1959. They came over here with nothing. They came separately. They met here in America. They came with nothing. They didn't have anything. My father had an opportunity that he could join a union and get into he didn't know what it meant, but get into the middle class. He joined Labor's Local 223 in Boston. And that union gave him an opportunity to really put food on the table, a roof over our head. I had a chance to follow my father into that same union, work construction. I became president of my local union. I ran the building trades. I became a state representative for 16 years. I was mayor of Boston for 7. All of that, let me just stop there for a minute. All of that because of the numbers 223. Because what the union gave to me. If I didn't have a union and my family didn't have a union, none of that would be possible. None of that would be possible. And brothers and sisters, now I stand before you as the United States Secretary of Labor. I am a proud union member for a voice for workers in the President's cabinet. I am here because the union opened its doors to my immigrant family and to me. And as President Biden says, the middle class built America and unions built the middle class. And now, after decades of attacks on workers' rights, we are rebuilding the middle class with good union jobs. We have that opportunity now because we have the most pro-labor president in our history, and you have a labor secretary who carries a union book in his pocket. So, brothers and sisters, let's seize this moment. Let's keep fighting for good jobs, for the right to organize, the opportunity that reaches all Americans. Together, we will make this country stronger, because when we stand together, we win. When we work together, we win. And when we fight together, the working people always win. Brothers and sisters, thank you. God bless you. God bless the labor movement. And God bless the United States of America.